Good morning. It is a bit colder somewhere in a sweatshirt, whatever, in Auckland City. And today I'm going to be talking about the fact that most likely in every single one of your guys' lives, there are people that you keep telling, like, oh yeah, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to stop doing this, and they're not listening to you. And that's perfectly normal. Because basically what is happening in their mind is like, why should they change? Like, they don't understand why. If you're just trying to convince people with words, you might not see that it works that well. But I noticed in my own life that leading by example with different types of actions that you take is actually has a much better fucking effect and a much higher chance of success rate to convince people, or to persuade people rather, because convincing isn't really a great word, to persuade them that it is actually a good thing, that what you're telling them to do is something that is actually productive and actually good for you. So for example, recently one of my family members, he had never really gone to the gym for like 30 years, and he saw me change from this 18-year-old over 100 kilos overweight guy all the way down to like where I am right now, which is like I'm roughly around 80 kilos. I'm 1 meter 82, 1 meter 83, somewhere on those lines. So it's basically like 6 foot tall. And in pounds, that would be like, what is it? 20. So 45 times 4, that would be like somewhere around like 180 pounds. Yeah, something like that. And most people. And so the story is it's basically not going to have the very similar effect on most people that it's going to happen to. And basically what happened was, he saw me change, and he saw how better I felt, and how great, and how more energetic and more motivated, more all these positive things. And he saw that I was getting affected so much by just doing this simple thing as going to the gym every single day, and improving myself, that he said like, do you mind next time you go to the gym, I come with you and you show me how to do stuff, because like I really want to get into the gym. I know I need to exercise, but I just don't want to do it by myself. And I said, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, and I was about, like, at the same time he asked, what was funny was, I was about to tell him, like, you know what we could do is, you could just come to the gym with me, and I could just show you what to do and tell you what to do, and then you wouldn't really need to think about it. You would just need to do it, and then like cause and effect is gonna happen. So he was like, yeah, it's a great idea, da da da. And so I managed to help him get in better shape, feel much better about himself, be more energetic, less tired, all that sort of positive stuff that you get by just going to the gym on a regular basis. But that's not really the lesson I wanted to talk about, just going to the gym. I wanted to talk about the fact that I managed to persuade him in doing something because I led by example. And I'm sure you know the saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot force him to drink the water. And this is exactly the same thing. Like, if you lead the horse to water and then you start drinking and you say, this is the best water fucking ever, it feels amazing, it feels refreshing, they're just gonna be like, oh, I wanna try that as well, and then just gonna do it, right? So I think more people should lead by example in their own lives. And this is kind of connected to the different subjects I've been talking about in these videos, where most of the time people are super selfish and only think about themselves, and they don't really lead by example. They just do whatever feels best in the moment. It's like most people that are overweight or fat or whatever, what they've been doing so far is they've been acting on their feelings, and they've been acting on like, oh yeah, but I feel like shit, so I just want to eat this, or oh, it would feel so good if I could just eat a bit of this right now, or and they use the food as a source of comfort, and that's why they gain a bunch of weight. So that's I noticed what most people do, and there's just so many different examples that you could give on the same subject. But basically, it stems from a place where people don't have that much of a sense of community anymore. Because when you belong to a community, you have a role in that community, and you do your best to not be a burden to that community. And if you're just eating all the time and you're over like 300, 500 pounds and like basically over 200 kilos, you're overweight, you are sluggish, you are a burden to the people around you, basically. And you're basically just not helping. Like, if you are fat, like some people say like, oh, that would be extremely drastic. But if you are fat, I recommend you just stop eating. Just stop eating. And like completely. Just stop eating. It might be hard to your brain to be like, oh, I'm hungry. But the emotion of hunger, the feeling of hunger, is actually just something your brain sends, like shoots out, and it's like, yeah, we need to eat, like we want to eat. And it doesn't actually come from a lack of calories. It comes from the dopamine that you get when you eat set calories. So when you eat less food, you feel hungry because your brain is used to you eating a bunch of food. There's a helicopter going by. Who cares? Might be a bit loud, but I'll just speak louder, so whatever. So basically, if you eat more, your brain gets used to the feeling of dopamine being released every single time you eat something. Might it be with a ton of sugar, a ton of salt? That's even worse. So basically what happens is most people that eat a bunch of food, they're a burden to other people around them, and they don't have this sense of community anymore, and that makes people resent them, and so they isolate themselves even more, and it gets even worse. So the one thing I noticed that people should do more is, number one, be more in a community, physically in the community, not necessarily in a online community, because that means that you can still hide behind your computer and you don't have to be judged by other people and you don't have any physical activity to do. But like, let's say for instance, like I live in New Zealand, right? The indigenous people, the original people from this land, are called the Maori, and they have an extremely big sense of community and family here. And basically what they do is like, they organize events where they go clean up the ancestral lands, and they go do a bunch of community stuff. They give food to others. They have a great time together, and they take care of everybody. And that comes from everybody coming in and not necessarily paying for people, just having everybody from the same family or the same tribe come into the same place and start cleaning and start taking care of stuff and start organizing and cleaning up stuff. Like for instance, there was an event where I went, where basically we all of the dudes would go outside and take care of all of the grounds on this tribal land. And so they would mow the lawns, they would cut the grass, they would take care of the hedges, they would align all of the stuff outside, they would take care of the garden, literally everything outside, and all of the women would go inside and they would clean all of the inside of the house. They would do all the kitchen, they would cook the food, they would basically do everything inside, and all the men would do everything outside. And I found that really inspiring, because that means that everybody works as a unit, and everybody works together, like in a community. And so everybody is dependent on one another to do their job efficiently, because if you don't do your job efficiently, you're going to be late, and you're not going to be able to do what it is you actually want to do later. So you're basically fucking everybody over if you're being a lazy fuck. So by doing that sort of stuff, it reinforces in people's minds the fact that they need to become more useful to their own community, because they're a part of it. They're bringing something to the table. So that would that's like completely not a thing in Western society. I noticed. I come from France. I know, because like I've lived my entire family. Most of my life was spent with either my dad or my mom, and that's pretty much it. Like there's not really that much of a sense of community in Europe, as much as there is here, that I've found. And that's really one of the biggest differences, because it's completely changed the society in that which everybody lives in. So everybody is more prone to being selfish in the West, because that's how society has been developed. Like that's been the message that has been pushed by the media and that sort of stuff, that it's fine to be alone, and the perfect thing would be to just have mom, dad, kids, dog, house. That's it. Like that would be the perfect life. And like, sure, it might be the perfect life for some people. Some people would love to have that sort of stuff, that sort of life. But in the same way, there's not that sense of community anymore. So it's very easy to retract from the outside world and to become utterly and completely selfish, which can result in more people being less productive and less useful to society, right? So I was recently listening to this new guy I started watching on YouTube, called Levi Nix, and so he does this commentary reaction channel on dating and modern dating and that sort of stuff, and he reacts to clips and shit. And I thought that was really interesting as a he offered his perspective on everything, and he actually made me, he pushed me to he inspired me to actually restart this channel and start like recording videos and stuff. So shout out to Levi, pretty good dude. And I think he said something like, don't be the victim of your circumstances, be the hero of your own opportunities. And I feel like that's literally one of the perfect sentences that everybody should fucking stand by, because like there are so many people today that just act like a victim, and they have this victim mentality, especially women, in today's society. It's like, oh, it's men's fault, it's this fault. No. It's like they crashed a car, and it's like, no, but the tree, it was raining, it was dark, I couldn't see. It's like, bruv, like you crashed the car, you drove the car. Like, what do you mean? So I think people should stop being like victims and should start being heroes of their own lives, and just lead by example, so that everybody sees that there is greatness to aspire to. And that is especially important for children in the family unit as well. Even if you're not raising your children by yourself and you're raising your children in a tribe or a community, that is also the best thing. They need, like, I think families and kids need to have a strong unified bond, so they can see, they have, like, if there are boys, they need to have a good role model dude to take example of, and same thing for the girls. They need to have a good woman that teaches them a bunch of stuff about life and how everything works. And I think the problem is today there are so many people that are too focused on themselves and not focused enough on legacy and their own children and that sort of stuff. They're too focused on how do you say this word? It's basically they're just too focused on objects and stuff and money and whatever. And it's like, you don't actually need to do anything. You just need to do, well, number one, you can pick whatever you want, but I think everybody should strive towards building a legacy for themselves. Even though sometimes I look at some people and I'm like, you don't deserve you don't deserve a legacy, like from your behavior and how you look and that sort of stuff. But everybody could have a place in society if they actually stopped acting like victims and started acting like people that actually cared about others. Like, you don't need to care about other people's lives, but you can care about making everybody feel the same way you want to feel. So like, if you want to feel respected, respect everybody else. If you want to feel happy, make sure everybody's happy around you. Everything around those lines is basically one of the best things that you can do. Like, I wasn't planning on recording these videos and going for like 30-minute rants and whatever, but I felt like if I was in the position I was before, I would have loved to have someone to tell me what to do. I would have loved to just someone, like, even if like all of the communities I've joined and the people I've listened to, if they had never existed, or if they have never told me to wake the fuck up and do X, Y, and Z, I would have probably just still been playing video games and being selfish and just thinking about myself all day and just eating junk food. That's pretty much it. It's either the two extremes. It's either lead your life by example, become the best human in your life, in your environment, that can help others, that can lead by example, that can provide a good role model for your children and the children of other people if they don't have the people in their life that they can take example from. Or you're super and utterly selfish and you just consume yourself into attrition and consume yourself into degeneracy and not giving a shit about anybody else. So, I mean, honestly, pick your poison, bro. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do? Like, I can't choose for you. You have to do it yourself. So, that's kind of the lesson I wanted to go on today. Like, what are some things that people could start doing today that would make so that everybody in their lives would be like, oh yeah, he's doing great, I want to be like him? Well, very simply, do literally everything that makes you proud. At the end of the day, if you feel proud of having done something, it probably means that it's the best thing to do. It's one of the good things to do. Not necessarily the best of the best, but it's a good thing to do. Like, for instance, if it's literally everything I talked about yesterday, if it's improving your skills, if it's what did I say yesterday? It's improving your skills, so becoming a more valuable human, either in practical use or even in communication, or just being a beacon of light for the people around you. Like for instance, yesterday, I was extremely nice to the people at the coffee shop. If you've been listening to my rants for the past couple of days, I go to this coffee shop and all the waitresses are very nice. And so I'm very nice to them as well, because I believe that their job is pretty fucking hard and it's pretty fucking annoying, especially if the customers are being fucking pieces of shit, you know? So I'm extremely nice and I do my best to help them in their job by doing my part. So for instance, if I've got my glass of water, my tea cup, and my tea kettle, when I'm done, I'll just bunch everything up together and I'll bring it to the guy who does the dishes so they don't have to do it for me. And that saves them time and that saves them energy, and they feel a sense of reciprocity, and they want to return the favor. Like yesterday, yesterday was Valentine's Day. Probably if you're watching this in the US, it's probably today, but yesterday because New Zealand time zone, whatever. So yesterday, one of the waitresses, I went to the restroom, and when I came back, there was food on my table. I didn't even ask for food. I didn't pay for food. I just got it for free. And I don't even know if it's the fact that I was just being a great person to them, or if it's simply because I'm attractive and I look like I have a lot of money, and well, not right now, we're in a fucking sweatshirt, but I look like I have money and they want to ask me out on a date or whatever. Like, it's either one of those two, you know? Like, being a decently attractive guy, taking care of your looks, grooming yourself, making sure you show up your best, clean, fit, clothes, all that sort of stuff counts towards being a beacon of light in your environment at the end of the day and leading by example. If you want other people to do certain things, just do them and let them see how you act and how you comport yourself is what I'm talking about. Because if you only focus on doing good things, only good things can happen to you. Like, what goes around comes around. Like, you know, like I mentioned, like, if you're nice to people, they'll be nice in return. Like, don't expect anything to happen. But if you do choose to do stuff, do it with full intent. Full intent of receiving nothing in return. Like, just be nice for the sake of being nice. Be kind for the sake of being kind. Lead by example because you want to. If you don't want to, I can't force you. Can't, like, you have to choose that for yourself. But basically, I think everybody should take some time and really think, okay, who am I as a person, and what kind of values do I want to portray to other people? What do I want other people to think about when they think about me? And that goes the same for the time that you're living on this earth, but also the fact that once you perish, once you die, once you go to the ground, and you never wake up, well, you might have never asked yourself this, like, what do you want other people to remember you from? Like, remember you, like, what actions do you want them to remember you by? What qualities do they, like, what things do you want to come to mind of others, to come to the mind of others when they think about you? And then just live your life to the fullest, to the best extent as much as possible, by keeping that in mind. I think everybody should do that as much as possible, because the world would be a better place if everybody was less selfish. Now, being selfish is not inherently bad. I personally was pretty selfish, because I was first selfish in a bad way, but then I understood that I needed to be selfish because I needed time and energy to improve myself. So I needed to cut out everybody else, and I needed to focus on myself so I could improve myself, and then I could become that person that leads by example. Because if I can focus on myself as much as possible and become this beacon of light in everybody's lives that everybody wants to take example from, well, literally nothing can go bad, can it? Like if I'm being selfish to improve myself so that my life is better, and then by extent the people around me's lives are better because I'm there, that's literally perfect. Like what I don't see the bad thing by doing that, because like if you being selfish by extent improving your life and becoming the best person improves the lives of others around you, well, if everybody did that, then everybody's lives would just be fine. Like we wouldn't have to be so miserable. Like we wouldn't have to deal with so much of the garbage that is going on in today's like society. Sure, there are evil people on this earth. There are people that take advantage of others. Sure, but if we can push more people towards doing good things, towards doing nice things, kind things, becoming strong individuals that stand by certain principles and refuse to give up, I think society can only get better from there. And sure, there might be people that want to fight against that, but it is pretty easy to get rid of them. It's like, don't even listen to them. Just don't care. You know? Like, honestly, if some fat, blue-haired person looks at me and says like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing all this? And I'm just like, watch this video. You'll understand. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then just keep being selfish. Keep being yourself. I don't really care. Like I noticed that being unapologetically yourself is one of the best things you can do. Because there are over 8 billion people on this earth, and you cannot get every single one of them to like you as a person. It is better to be loved by a few people in a meaningful way, rather than being loved by everybody for being someone you're not. So I suggest everybody watching this, if you went all the way through the video, take some time and think about it. What do you want to be remembered by? Hello, Mr. Siegel, Mr. Bug. What do you want to be remembered by? What do you want other people to remember you as? What actions? What thoughts? Titles? Anything. Literally anything you can come up with. And if you want, you can also make a list on a piece of paper. Like, if you want to remember it on a whiteboard or whatever, and just remind yourself, like, every day you wake up and you're like, this is exactly who I want to be and who I want people to remember me as. So this is what I'm going to do today. This is the stuff that I'm going to focus on today. And create your schedule. Schedule your day based on that. And I know that you can do much better than you're doing right now. So there you have it. As a quick summary, I would just say everybody needs to do better. Everybody needs to be the hero of their own opportunities and not the victim of their circumstances. Everybody needs to become more valuable, more skilled. Everybody needs to take more time to think on themselves and improve themselves so that the lives of the others around them are better by extension. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video today. I appreciate you if you went all the way through to the end watching this. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. If you want to just leave me some feedback or ask a question, I'm happy to have a conversation with literally everybody. Give my opinion, give some advice if you have any questions. And yeah, Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you around.